Hey everyone, welcome back to Overtime Insights. I was looking at some stories about some past baseball players and I came across this pitcher who not only had a Hall of Fame career, but he also stopped playing baseball in the early part of his career to serve in the military. He, along with players like Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, and Hank Greenberg, went to serve during World War II. This player not only showed greatness as a baseball player, but when his country was in need, he was there to serve and became a true patriot to the United States. This is the extraordinary life of Bob Feller, baseball legend and American hero. Robert William Andrew Feller, born November 3, 1918, in the small farming community of Van Meter, Iowa, would rise to become one of baseball's greatest pitchers and an American hero, whose life exemplified both athletic excellence and patriotic service. Known by nicknames such as the Heater from Van Meter, Bullet Bob, and Rabbit Robert, Feller's remarkable journey from a farm boy to Hall of Famer is a sequential American story that spans baseball's greatness, wartime heroism, and enduring legacy. Bob Feller grew up during the Great Depression on his family's farm in Van Meter, Iowa, with his parents and sister Margaret. Despite the economic challenges of the era, Feller later recalled, "We went far from destitute even during the Depression. My father was a very successful farmer, and that was one of the reasons he worked and he was smart. His mother was equally industrious, working as a school teacher, nurse, newspaper correspondent, and school board member, instilling in young Bob a strong work ethic that would serve him throughout his life. From an early age, Feller had one overwhelming passion: baseball. His father, who had pitched semi-professionally in his youth, nurtured this interest by building a pitching mound and home plate between their house and a barn. Young Bob spent countless hours throwing pitches to his father, developing his arm strength through disciplined practice. During winter months, father and son would continue their training inside the barn, never allowing the harsh Iowa weather to interrupt Bob's development. By age 12, Feller's dedication to baseball reached new heights when he and his father constructed their own baseball field and on the family farm. Complete with a grandstand, his father formed a team with Bob as the pitcher and charged a mission of 35 cents to see the young phenomenon play. Even as a teenager, Feller's talents was so remarkable that sometimes more than 1,000 people would visit the farm to witness his pitching prowess, drawing the attention of Major League scouts who were astounded by his blazing fastball. In 1936, at just 17 years old, Feller's life changed forever when Cleveland Indians scout Cy Slapnicka signed him for the symbolic sum of $1 and an autographed baseball. Slapnicka recognized something special in the young pitcher, noting, "This was a kid pitcher I had to get. I knew he was something special. His fastball was fast and fuzzy. It didn't go in a straight line. It would wiggle and shoot around." Feller's journey to the majors was unconventional and nearly derailed before it began. After signing him, the Indians attempted to transfer his contract through their minor league system without Feller actually playing in the minors, which violated baseball rules of the time. Following a 3-month investigation by Commissioner Kenshaw Mountain Landis, Feller was awarded free agency, but chose to remain with Cleveland. Sports writer Joe Williams later remarked, "For $7,500, the Cleveland Indians received $500,000 worth of publicity. I feel pretty sure Mr. Alva Bradley, president of the Indians, will admit this is the cheapest investment he ever made in publicity." Bypassing the minor leagues entirely, Feller made his major league debut on July 19, 1936, in a relief appearance against the Washington Senators. On August 23, 1936, he made his first start against the St. Louis Browns, where his talent immediately dazzled in the baseball world. In that game, the 17-year-old struck out 15 batters en route to a 4-1 victory. Indians manager Steve O'Neill had been so concerned about starting the teenager that he had a relief pitcher warming up in the bullpen, but Feller quickly dispelled any doubts by striking out all 3 batters he faced in the first inning. Just a month later, Feller tied Dizzy Dean's single-game strikeout record by fanning 17 Philadelphia Athletics batters. He finished his rookie season with a 5-3 record, compiling 76 strikeouts in 62 innings. Following the remarkable debut, Feller returned to Iowa to complete his senior year of high school. Wow. An event so significant that his graduation was broadcast live on NBC radio, demonstrating how rapidly he had become the best-known young person in America, with the possible exception of Shirley Temple. That's just unbelievable to do that right before graduating high school. Let me start my baseball career. Let me have my first start and strike out 15 batters in my first start. And then a month later, let me tie a great pitcher like Dizzy Dean's single game strikeout record with 17 strikeouts, all before graduating high school. And then let me have my high school graduation be broadcast on NBC radio. After completing high school, Valor returned to baseball full-time and began establishing himself as one of the game's premier pitchers. In 1938, he set an American League record by striking out 18 batters in a single game, a record that would stand for more than 3 decades. The following year, at just 20 years old, he won 24 games, becoming the first pitcher in baseball history to win more than 20 games in a season before turning 21. By 1941, Valor had developed into the most dominant pitcher in baseball, posting an impressive 27-11 record. On April 16, 1941, he pitched a no-hitter against the Chicago White Sox on opening day, the only opening day no-hitter in Major League history at that time, performing brilliantly despite challenging 40-degree weather at Comiskey Park. His career was ascending to new heights, with baseball's experts predicting unprecedented achievements for the young phenom. On December 7, 1941, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor changed America and Bob Feller's life forever. Feller was traveling from Des Moines, where he had visited his terminally ill father, to Chicago to sign a new contract with the Indians when he heard the news. In an extraordinary display of patriotism, Feller became the first American professional athlete to enlist in the military following the Pearl Harbor attack, joining the Navy just 2 days later on December 9, 1941. Despite having a military exemption due to his father's failing health, Feller insisted on serving his country in combat. His decision meant sacrificing nearly 4 years of his baseball career during what should have been his prime, but Feller never regretted this choice. "I'm proud of that decision to enlist," Feller later said. "It was important to serve your country. I didn't worry about losing my baseball career. We needed to win the war. I wanted to do my part." Initially, Feller tried to become a fighter pilot, but failed the hearing test. He began his military service as a physical fitness instructor at Norfolk Naval Base, before requesting combat duty. In January 1943, just days after his father died of brain cancer, Feller married Virginia Dolly Winther, whom he had met through her college roommate during spring training in Florida. Their courtship had blossomed through numerous telegrams exchanged while Feller was playing baseball and beginning his military service. After his wedding, Feller was assigned as gun captain aboard the USS Alabama. He kept his pitching arm in shape by throwing near his gun turret. Feller and the USS Alabama crew spent most of the 1943 in the British Isles before being reassigned to the Pacific Theater of Operations. He saw direct combat during Operation Galvanic in November 1943 and later participated in Operation Flintlock and the Battle of the Philippine Sea. His combat duty ended in January 1945, after which he served as an instructor at the Great Lakes Naval Training Station until being discharged as Chief Petty Officer on August 22, 1945. Throughout his military service, Feller was decorated with 6 campaign ribbons and 8 battle stars for missions in both the Pacific and North Atlantic. Years later, he was made an honorary member of the Green Beret, recognizing his exemplary service and courage. After 4 years away from professional baseball, many athletes would have struggled to regain their former abilities. Not Bob Feller. He returned to the Indians briefly at the end of the 1945 season, and in 1946 demonstrated that his skills remained exceptional, posting a 26-15 record and pitching his second no-hitter. That same year, he recorded an astonishing 348 strikeouts, a total that would not be exceeded for 19 years. Feller continued his pitching dominance through the late 1940s and early 1950s. In 1948, he helped lead the Cleveland Indians to a World Series championship. His third no-hitter came in 1951, cementing his place among baseball's elite pitchers. By the end of his career, he had amassed 12 one-hitters, a record at the time of his retirement. The 1954 season saw Feller help the Indians win the American League pennant with an American League record of 111 wins. Throughout his illustrious career, Feller led the American League in wins 6 times and in strikeouts 7 times. His career statistics stand as a testament to his excellence. 266 wins, 162 losses, 279 complete games, 44 shutouts, a 3.25 ERA, and 2,581 strikeouts, which ranked third all-time when he retired. Bob Feller's impact on baseball extended beyond his impressive statistics. His contemporaries recognized his exceptional talent, with Hall of Famer Ted Williams declaring him the fastest and best pitcher I ever saw during my career, while Stan Musial considered him probably the greatest pitcher of our era. His blazing fastball became the stuff of legend, with Satchel Paige remarking, "If anybody threw that ball harder than Rapid Robert, then the human eye couldn't follow it." A touching moment in baseball history occurred on June 13, 1948, when Feller's bat was used to support an ailing Babe Ruth during the Yankees ceremony retiring Ruth's number. Both Feller and Ruth autographed this piece of lumber, which has become a cherished artifact in baseball history. In 1962, Feller received baseball's highest honor when he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame on his first ballot appearance. At the time, only 3 players had ever received a higher percentage of ballot votes, illustrating the universal respect he commanded throughout the baseball world. Later, he was ranked 36th on Sporting News' list of the 100 greatest baseball players and named a finalist for the Major League Baseball All-Century Team in 1999. Perhaps the most fitting tribute to Feller's legacy is the Bob Feller Act of Valor Award, established to honor individuals who embody his commitment to country and service. The foundation created in his name recognizes recipients from both Major League Baseball and the U.S. military, who demonstrates the values, integrity, and dedication to serving America that characterized Feller's life. The foundation's missions include supporting military families, promoting veteran causes, and educating youth about citizenship, sacrifice, and service, principles that guided Feller throughout his remarkable life. After his playing career ended in 1956, Bob Feller remained an ambassador for baseball and a champion of military service. He frequently shared his experiences and often reminded people that his military service was more important to him than his baseball accomplishments, stating there were more important things to do than playing baseball. Bob Feller passed away on December 15, 2010 in Cleveland, Ohio at the age of 92. His legacy lives on through the records he set, the memories he created, and the example he provided of athletic excellence combined with patriotic duty. The farm boy from Iowa, who became a pitching phenomenon and then voluntarily left baseball to serve his country, represents an enduring symbol of both sporting greatness and American values. The story of Bob Feller reminds us that true heroism transcends the playing field. While his baseball accomplishments alone would have secured his place in American sports history, his willingness to sacrifice his prime years to defend his nation elevates him beyond sports legend to American hero, a man who embodied the best qualities of his generation and whose legacy continues to inspire the new generations of Americans. This is someone we as Americans need to be reminded about. He knew the importance of needing to serve his country, despite what that would mean for his prime years. Feller did not hesitate. Even with his father being ill, he wanted to serve, and he showed what it means to be an American patriot. That's it for this video. I really enjoyed reading about his life, and this is someone Americans should not forget about, especially baseball fans. What do you think about Bob Feller? Would he be in the top 10 pitchers of the 20th century? Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. I'll see you next time in Overtime.